right, my question is quite short. Actually, um, is there, is it necessary for rational people to forgive those that have wronged them? Like, is there a like unchristian rational form of forgiveness that exists?
So, I mean, the quick answer is definitely no, that it's not necessary to forgive people who have wronged you. But let's work with an example. Do you have, and if it's a personal example and you don't want to share names or you want to doctor it so that you're not giving something away, that's fine. But can you give me a concrete instance of the kind of uh, uh, violation and forgiveness that you're thinking of?
I don't know. I don't know. Say like someone you were really close with, like, stole a lot of money from you.
Yeah, I think that that kind of thing is unforgivable unless there were some mitigating circumstances. So I can paint a picture. Let's say I'm friends with someone and he becomes addicted to meth or something. And in some, crazed meth high, he, breaks into my house or something and steals stuff from me. Um, and later is, apologizes and works to get cleaned up and get off of meth and get his life back in order. There are circumstances like that that can make a real difference. Where you could conceivably forgive someone, and it might even really be the right thing to do to forgive someone, depending on how important this person is to you as a friend or a colleague or whatever he or she is to you. Um, but there are definitely wrongs that cannot be forgiven. Murder cannot be forgiven. If somebody, I think, when if someone murders your child or your husband or wife or something, that forgiveness is out of the question. And I know that Christianity holds that you should forgive people for anything, and I think that that's morally obscene. Personally, I think that I would never forgive anyone for that. I would not forgive anyone for any serious assault on me or any of my friends or loved ones. I don't forgive anyone for an assault, especially if it's not, drug induced or to have some other kind of circumstance that might mitigate it, depending. And not every use of drugs mitigates what you do while on drugs, but there are, I already gave one case on that. But if someone violates rights or does a wrong that is clearly premeditated and a genuine act of evasion, that's a dangerous person. And forgiving him doesn't serve any purpose. He doesn't deserve forgiveness. He isn't going to, it's not going to make your life better to forgive him. Now, there can be circumstances where you want to let go of something. And I know that when Charlie Kirk was murdered a few months ago, his wife forgave the the shooter, um, and she did this at I think at some conference, and it was on it was televised and everything. Um, and I think that that is morally wrong to do, but I also think that when people do that kind of thing, sometimes what they're doing it for, they could be doing it for one of at least two reasons. They could be doing it because the Bible told them to, and so they're going to do it, or their preachers told them to, so they're going to do it. That's a wrong reason to do it. If the person is doing it because what she really means by it is, I need to let this go, and my means of letting it go is to say, I forgive this person. I would not, I wouldn't advise that language. I think it's the wrong language. I think you could just say, I need to let this go. I'm going to condemn this person once and let that be the end of it. And then I'm going to try not to think of him again. And I think that's better than forgiving. So anyway, that's a
So
bit long-winded. Adina, do you have any kind of a circumstance in mind that we could put on the table that would get more to
I
your concern?
no, you got to my concern already. And you voiced exactly how I was dealing it with it. Although instead of letting go, I was saying let karma and the universe deal with them because my life is awesome with without the and better without the.
Yeah, that's really interesting that you bring up karma because karma, I think, is it's I think it's some kind of an Eastern mysticism term, but
I
there's
don't.
something, and I know I know you're not advocating it, but what's interesting about it is that I have recently become a bit of a Swiftie. Taylor Swift's new album,
Good
Life
for
of a
you.
Showgirl. Yeah, I know. I'm getting
I
kudos from a lot of people, and I'll probably get beat up someday for acknowledging all of this. But anyway, I love that album, and because of that, my daughter and a few other people have been giving us Taylor Swift playlists from her older stuff that I didn't really know anything about. And she's got a song that I just listened to last night, and it might even be titled something about karma. But anyway, the lyrics in it are about karma, but the way that she's using it, and I think the way that you use it, is that it's the law of causality is what it really is. If you act in bad ways, if you act in anti-life, irrational ways, those those instances of doing that and the soul that you create by doing that are going to come back to haunt you. They just are, and it's the way that the world is. And so I think a lot of people use karma to mean that. So it's a bit of a package deal because it's kind of packaged together with Eastern mysticism nonsense, packaged in with a recognition of the fact that things are what they are and they act in accordance with their natures. And if you ruin your soul by acting in bad ways, you're going to have a bad life for doing it. And if you ruin relationships by acting in bad ways, that's going to cause you problems in your life. So I'm glad you brought up karma because I can tie it into that. And I think I don't think there's any harm in using that phrase that way. But just, as long as you're not talking
All
uh,
right. I'm
mis-
glad I have the Craig Biddle stamp of approval for using it that way. Thank you.
well, I'll use it that way too. Thanks, Adina. It's good to hear from you.